Speaking of loopholes, like I had mentioned, Dodd Frank is already full of them. It's incredibly watered down, and they're just trying to make even more loopholes, and this is going to lead to, I mean, in my opinion, it's going to lead to another economic collapse. It's only a matter of time. But getting onto that, I want to ask you guys, what's the worst case scenario that you can see if they are successful in passing these changes to Dodd Frank? And we'll start with you, Daniel.
Well, first off, if you think of the country as a ship and you fill it with loopholes, eventually you're going to take on water. Well, you'll have the other shoe will drop. You have another collapse, and we'll either go through the same thing again, which I highly doubt. The American people are going to completely rally against another bailout of the industry, and probably you'll end up seeing a second American Revolution if that event eventually takes place.
You have more faith in people than I do, I think.
When the gravy train comes to a stop for the people on the bottom economic ladder, I think that you will.
Look, I'm going to argue kind of against you on this one, Daniel. It's not exactly a gravy train. Okay,
it's
for a lot of people,
it's a pacifist, is what it is.
For a great amount of people that are at the bottom, life is not easy. It's actually very difficult to get by.
That it is.
So, but Ree, let's continue with your thought.
Well, it's not that I don't have faith enough in that people can rally together and actually create a real movement that will catch people's attention, like the Occupy movement. I really respected that movement, but it ended up fizzling out because, you know, we're the people at the bottom without any power to make any real definite change. So even if people do come together and really try to fight the power and have a revolution in this country, I doubt the possibility of success at this point. I think that we need to change the system from the inside because we're not going to be able to beat it down from the outside. Not at this point. It's too powerful. I mean, this story is just basically business as usual. It's the big guy beating down on everyone else in order to make themselves more powerful and more inflated with wealth that they never will need in their entire lifetimes. It's inconceivable, I mean, just insurmountable, ceaseless greed that we're fighting against. And it's a fight that's been going on for almost as long as humanity has existed. And I don't think it's going to end anytime soon.
Well, I want to address your point, actually, about that you made about Occupy. It's not, Occupy is not dead. It changed. It changed form. It's actually doing what you had suggested. It's working within the system. Strike Debt is a offshoot of Occupy. They're doing that rolling jubilee, and like I said, they've been doing a lot of good work in discharging some of that zombie debt, they call it. So I just wanted to address that point. Daniel, go ahead.
Do you believe that, I'm not talking about the bottom economic ladder as far as the dirt poor, I'm also referencing the fact that if more of the middle class falls into poverty, which helped trigger Occupy Wall Street, which will happen in the event of the second economic crash, then do you think you would have a revolution? I mean, a good example is if the government didn't bail out the auto industry and more of the middle class, over 2 million jobs fell into poverty, do you think you would have had a revolution?
Well, let me jump in there, because this is where I was going to say part of the thing with all this. I'm kind of surprised there's even a Dodd Frank bill left. It's just been picked at and hacked away at, and
it hasn't even been fully implemented yet because they have not exactly been in a hurry trying to implement it.
That's right.
Continue.
And there's so many holes carved in it that it really doesn't hold much weight against anything anymore anyways. So this whole idea of what they're doing now to just make these derivatives even easier, this is a design because you're asking what is this going to lead to. And the American banking system, it is so big right now, it's too big for its own good. And I mean, just look at the state of the world banking market and remember that the American banking system has a lot to do with the state of the current world finances as they are right now. These new measures to be able to hide things, make them less taxable, make them easier to trade offshore, these are also because these people at the top know that the bottom's going to fall out. They know, we just saw it happen. We're starting to get into some recovery, but these guys know that things aren't looking good right at the moment. I mean, country after country is falling into austerity, and how far behind can the U.S. be before something drastic happens there? And all these guys want to have themselves positioned in a spot where they're going to be the least affected. And that's why Dodd Frank is an enemy to them. And they got to hack it apart.